Over 10,000 children were saved, but they paid a terrible price. The year is 1938. Across Germany and Austria, the shadow of Nazi persecution lengthens. Jewish families, once integral threads in the fabric of their communities, found themselves increasingly isolated, dehumanized, and brutally targeted. Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass, on November 9th and 10th, marked a horrifying turning point. Synagogues burned, businesses were looted, and thousands of Jewish men were dragged from their homes and sent to concentration camps. This wasn't just violence, it was a clear, terrifying message. For Jewish parents, the immediate danger to their children became an unbearable burden. They knew they had to act, and quickly, before all avenues of escape were sealed. Britain, however, possessed a unique advantage. Unlike most other nations, it had a legal loophole. An existing provision allowed unaccompanied children under 17 to enter the country if a guarantor could provide for their care and eventual emigration. This small crack in the wall of indifference became the Kindertransport, a desperate, hastily organized rescue mission, primarily spearheaded by the British Committee for Refugees from Czechoslovakia and various Jewish organizations. The logistics was staggering: identifying children, securing visas, finding foster families, arranging transport, all against the clock, with ever-tightening Nazi restrictions making every step perilous. Time, quite literally, was running out. Imagine the scene: a bustling train station, likely Vienna or Berlin. Hundreds of children, some as young as 3, clutching small suitcases, carrying the weight of their parents' impassable choice. Parents, their faces etched with grief and a desperate hope, offering final, tearful goodbyes. They were sending their children into the unknown, believing it was the only way to save them, praying they would see them again. The first Kindertransport train departed Vienna on December 2, 1938, carrying 60 children. This was just the beginning. Over the next 9 months, an extraordinary human chain formed. These children, often disoriented and unable to speak English, arrived in unfamiliar British towns and cities. They were met by volunteers, social workers, and their new foster families, a mix of Jewish and non-Jewish households. For many, the transition was incredibly difficult. The trauma of separation, the language barrier, and the stark difference in culture created immense challenges. Some children thrived, while others struggled with profound loneliness and displacement. One young girl in G recalled arriving with just a small doll and her brother. She remembered the kindness of her foster mother, but also the constant ache of missing her real parents, a pain that never truly left her. These children weren't just fleeing persecution, they were fleeing a future that, unbeknownst to them, would become the Holocaust. Their parents' desperate gamble, a heart-wrenching sacrifice, saved their lives. The British public's response was crucial. Thousands of families opened their homes, offering safety and a future. Without their extraordinary generosity, the Kindertransport would have been impossible. However, the outbreak of war in September 1939 brought the Kindertransport to an abrupt halt. The last train left just a day before Britain declared war on Germany. For the children already in Britain, their temporary refuge became permanent. The fate of the parents left behind was, for most, tragic. Many perished in the ghettos and death camps of Eastern Europe. The children in Britain would grow up, many never seeing their families again. Sir Nicholas Winton, a young British stockbroker, played a vital, though initially unsung, role. He personally organized 8 trains, rescuing 669 children, mostly Jewish, from Czechoslovakia. His story wasn't widely known until decades later. Winton's efforts, alongside those of countless others, illustrate the power of individual courage and compassion in the face of unimaginable evil. He saw a need and acted, saving lives that would otherwise have been lost. The Kindertransport children grew up to become doctors, artists, scientists, and business leaders. They contributed immeasurably to British society, living lives that their parents had so desperately fought to preserve. Yet the trauma of their escape and the loss of their families often remained. Many carried a profound sense of survivor's guilt, a quiet understanding of the immense cost of their survival. Today, the Kindertransport stands as a powerful testament to human resilience and the profound impact of collective action. It reminds us of the moral imperative to protect the vulnerable, especially children, in times of crisis. It also serves as a stark warning, the dangers of unchecked hatred and the fragility of peace. The children of the Kindertransport, though saved, never truly forgot the darkness from which they fled. Discover another untold story from the war in our next deep dive into Operation Mincemeat.